People who were subject to torture or lose their home country, witnessed trauma events, and maybe lose their dreams and goals need a lot of support and need to feel respect, need to feel safety again. Feeling safety and respect and being able to express their feeling and thoughts is part from their healing journey.
Healing is very important, especially for people who came from the refugee background, going through trauma, torture, suffering. And it has impacted on them physically and mentally. And when they still carry on that feeling of pain or fear within them, it can disrupt their thinking capacity, their ability to do other things, and even their engagement with other people.
We have felt ourselves when we came here, we were like fish out of water. We have lost everything was new, we could not understand what is happening. We were already like people lost completely. But by becoming part of this society, you feel that you are healing yourself.
Healing is, as a human being, what is needed in your life. The family, the connection, the community, the work, the study, the culture, acceptance.
Healing and belonging is intertwined, and you can't have one thing separated from another, or one thing cannot be achieved without the other. So the both need to be encouraged and facilitated.
From 1990 to 1995, I worked as a multicultural women's health worker at the Brisbane Women's Health Centre. And as part of my work, I started to meet mainly refugee women who were not getting their needs met.
We came to Australia. Every night my son is get up and just screaming, asking for the, where is my mom, where is my dad? We grab him, we hugging him, still say, go away, where is my dad or where is my brother? Anyway, every night he had this nightmare. So we've been referred to that hospital for the treatment of my son. And then unfortunately, after a few months, we find out that the services is really is not affecting my son and not getting better.
My involvement in the process and the project was based on my research, which I did with the Spanish-speaking community in Brisbane. I interviewed male and female. We spoke about the issues that refugees from Latin America were facing at that time. So one of them was clearly the setting of the only existing service, which was in a hospital. We needed another kind of approach, which should be community-based. People taking responsibility, people taking their own leadership, people taking their life back.
It was very clear that what we needed was something that was very grassroots and community-based, where people would feel safe, where people could feel that they belonged and rebuild their lives in Australia. And it was not to be a medical psychiatric approach. And I think because we were very unified about that, I think that's what made us successful in terms of being able to establish QPASTT.
So we joined a network, the FAST network, the Forum of Australian Services for Survivors of Torture and Trauma. We joined as the Queensland member. And I was very concerned that we needed to establish our credibility on all levels very quickly and not let them down. So we needed to establish our credibility professionally, clinically, in terms of our community engagement, that kind of work. We needed to establish our credibility by setting up our administrative systems, our data systems, our governance systems. I'm amazed at what we attempted to do in those early days, really, with so few people and with so few resources. But we were bold, we were just we weren't going to let that step in our way. We were ready for it, whatever was thrown at us.
QPASTT was founded on the principle of community, and that's the recognition that recovery from torture and trauma involves working with individuals and families in a therapeutic and in a psychoeducational context, but also in a community context.
We handed the control back, to the communities, so that they can, they can decide, the place, the time, who's running it, the contents, what is really meaningful and important to the communities.
The connection between community groups and QPASTT is a very strong connection. Community groups are able to seek the support from QPASTT to develop the knowledge and the skills inside the community, to be able to support each other, to gain more information and more knowledge about mental health, and to face the stigma in some cultures.
So the community need to be empowered. They need to be given the resources and guided to do their own things. And that's the best way to achieve the outcomes that we want to see as government, as service providers, and as a community. So it is very important for an organization to make sure that programs are designed to help the community, are community-led. And I think QPASTT leadership has really demonstrated what we want as a community.
It's QPASTT's connection with community and its deep roots that it's had since day one that has always resonated in all of the programs that it provides. Its commitment to real community development and building connection, helping people build connections not only with themselves to restore and rediscover who they are in this new environment, but to build bridges and build relationships that they need with their new local community. That is so important.
I'm an educator first and foremost, and worked in the space with refugee kids out of all the different wars. Every war had a different story to tell. Now, these sorts of things, the torture of their relatives or themselves, or the trauma that they've undergone, it impacts on learning. You can't remember. You can't learn to write, because to write you have to think. If you can't think, you can't get the vocabulary. You can't succeed at school. And so my main thing was to have kids who were available for learning.
We established the homework club. It was certainly the first of its kind anywhere that I knew of. And it was a very safe place for children, for young people to come and to feel comfortable and feel supported.
There was a time, after school when you really felt safe coming to a place where you felt like you belonged, somewhere where people looked after you, they treated you with food, and you had the bonus of someone helping you with your assignment, exam, or whatever sort of form of assistance, academic assistance you needed.
Well, we really tried to make sure that we're constantly advocating for the rights and the needs of the young people, and that we are creating spaces where they don't only just feel like they belong or they connect in the community or in our offices, but when they leave out here, that they are belonging in the school, they are seen and respected in the wider community, that they are given equal opportunities wherever they go. So I think our work really has a long-term impact, and it's an impact that's going to change the life of young people, but also their families and the community in large.
Voice means a lot to me because I'm a part of like a community of young like-minded people who are just as passionate as me to make a positive impact in the community, not just locally but also globally. And being also in an environment where I can be authentically myself and be able to express my own opinions.
Finding a group of young people just like me who experience the same situations as me and uniquely go through life the same way I would navigate life. So finding that similarity in a group of young people through Youth Voice has been tremendous in my journey of healing.
But being in a space like Youth Voice and having being in a room with like-minded people who actually have the same values and want to make change with you, it does knock that wall down of, oh, I can't do this. It's empowering.
Youth Voice has been really about empowering those voices and also allow them to be the voice for themselves. That will allow them to be the leaders of tomorrow. And building that, it allowed them to be able to be active members and citizens of the community.
Refugees who have lost everything. They have lost their family. They have lost even their dignity. They have lost even their identity. You know, in the refugee camp, we have lost even our identity. I always called myself number 73. So number 73, if they call number 73, it is me. At the distribution center, they give you things. They don't call you by the name. They call you 73. And we have to say, yes, we are here. So we have lost even our identity.
Justice means equity. Justice means freedom. Justice means dignity. With no justice, people will not feel safe.
A core value of ours at QPASTT is to work in a just way. That's through deep respect and empowerment in the way we work with people. Our counsellor advocates do active advocacy work for individuals and families, helping them to get access to systems like the health system, the educational system, while our senior leaders and our co-CEOs are involved in advocacy at a systemic level.
And the reason they're called counsellor advocates is because there's a real recognition that you can work in a clinical or counselling capacity on people's psychological responses to an event, but you also have a responsibility to work to stop those events happening as well.
There's not very many other people who truly can appreciate and understand the injustices that refugees have experienced, and QPASTT values of condemnation of torture and trauma and supporting human rights and social justice really did galvanise the community to support others and to make people feel, to normalise some of the abhorrent experiences that they had had and help them move on with their lives.
The current group of workers in QPASTT, they still have that freshness and that desire to achieve social justice through their work, and you sense that they're very, very passionate about that, and they really do want to make a difference.
The journey that I have been through has been a journey of healing and a journey of belonging to somewhere, and QPASTT has provided that assistance and opportunity for me to do that.
When we ask young people, what is healing for you, and they say healing means I'm able to imagine a future. So I think by us working alongside them, we're really helping them to imagine what that future might look like for them.
So what organization like QPASTT has done is protecting people like that to be themselves and to be the contributors to the society. That is powerful, that is impactful.
I would introduce every young person of color I know to QPASTT, because my journey with QPASTT had been tremendous in terms of connecting back with my community, but also finding really people that I truly connected with, found similarities with, but also has opened so much opportunities within my own well-being and healing journey. So I wish, I could do that for every young person that I know.